Welcome back to Whatever Garage. This episode, we're going to be back on the 79 working on the brakes. If you remember last time, we got them all put together. Now we're going to figure out if they work. Let's get started. Now the reason I said that was because I came out to the shop this morning and lo and behold, they're still leaking here. And we have a new spot here, which this tells me that's coming from the junction box. What do you call it? I'm brain farting, but I'll tell you in a little bit. And then over here looks to be relatively new leaking there. So, completely unsuccessful attempt. We're leaking from everywhere. Now the one in the back I knew about because the screw is stripped and I was having to use vice grips to try and tighten it. I know, real professional. So I'm probably gonna have to get a whole new hard line. And that was the hard line that goes from the caliper to the other line. You know what I mean? So we'll probably have to replace that. So we'll dig into that in just a minute. We look at this side and there's no new leaks. That little bit there is drying up from when I was working on it. So this side seems to be okay. Let's look at the front here. And this is okay. This was also the one that had the, okay, sorry, I'm really having a hard time aiming this thing. The front seems to be okay, and it was the one I had the hardest time pulling any fluid through. But if the distribution box, that's the word, if the distribution box is leaking, then that's probably why. Alright guys, I want to show you something really funny. What do you think could be wrong and why the brakes aren't working? Just a quick guess. What do you see right there? Yeah. There's a line that's not connected. Can you say duh? Alright, we'll figure that one out. But then if you look in the back, if you can see the, that's hard too. You can't really see it from here, but the line that feeds out of the back of the distribution box is just soaked. Alright, just on a weird note, I'm yawning. You see what looks like a ton of oil leaked out. And in reality, the reservoirs are only about half empty, if that. See? So yes, it's leaking, but it's not like it completely drained everything. Just thought that was interesting. All right, we are underneath the car looking up, and if you look here, the bottom of the distribution block is leaking. That one is leaking, and this line right here is not connected to anything, and I'm not sure what it is. It's got to be brakes, right? No, it doesn't have to be brakes. Could that be vent return? We're gonna have to follow it and find out. And it's, I'm sorry, this line. If you see the tip of it, it's just plugged. Don't know where it goes, but this is, those are the front, that's the rear. Or no, that's in, that's the front. Those two are the front. I'm just repeating myself right now, sorry. There's no other place for that to plug into. There's two lines coming in the top, two lines going out the front, one line going out the back. And as far as I know, there are no other holes for this to plug into. So that may be my imagination. All right, let's go get line wrenches and hold on. Let's go get some line wrenches and see if we can't tighten those lines up and see what happens. I put light on top because you need to see better than I do. And I wasn't sure. All right, that's not it. It's 10. 11 millimeter. All right. This one we know was leaking. Let's dry her off now. Okay, and this bottom one we know is really leaking. I think that's a 1/2 inch. Oh, that thing's gonna be leaking for a while because that's all in the grooves of that heat shield stuff that's on it. Good thing I took the time to paint everything down here. So that'll just eat it off. 1/2 inch. What? She's not a 1/2 inch. 9/16. Oh, she's 9/16. Oh boy, that was really loose. It may look like I'm torquing it down hard, but I'm actually not. I want to go back on. It will not go back on very well. Let's turn the other direction, see if that helps. No, it doesn't. All right, she is on. Let's dry that off. And that's definitely probably why we cannot bleed the brakes as well as I wanted to. Okay, nothing else appears to be leaking. Let me get the flashlight real quick so I can see what I'm doing here. That light is blinding me. I'm just not sure about this one. It might still be leaking. Tighten the top ones down. I just didn't show it. And I apologize last time if I didn't show some of the work I was doing. I honestly didn't think to show in detail some of the stuff because I figured it would be hard to show you, so I didn't want to just give you a botched view. But I will do better to try and show you as I am doing things. Remember, I am not a mechanic, guys. So I don't want you to go by what I do as the gospel. Go by what I do and then do it correctly. All right. We know that one was really loose. I do not want to over torque this. So let's leave it for now and just come back and see how she's doing. There's no visible drops. There's a little bit of moisture in the crevice right here where the purple part meets this. Inside there I can still see some liquid, but I mean that's obviously left over. We'll see if it puddles out afterwards. Let me check all this stuff up here. It's dry, dry. All right, now we need to find out what this line is. Okay. Yeah, so let's follow it to the back. Okay, I'm just feeling along. Now granted, you guys probably know what it is, I don't, so I'm gonna investigate. Because you will tell me in the next video what it is. Right here, it gets into here, hold on. Comes over here. It splits. One goes there. The other goes the other side. Damn it, that's the right side brake. And it's not connected to anything. How did I do that? There's nowhere for it to connect to. I've obviously done something wrong. Let's go back and look. Okay, looking down, there is, I'm gonna get arrows and point, hopefully I can see in the video. There's that connection. There's nowhere else for it to connect to. Why would it be there? All right, I need to find a diagram. Let me get out my Bible. All right, here is my Bible. All right, let's look in here. Find something that says brakes. Brakes, section 5, 297, page 297. Here, section 5, page 297. Okay. Unfortunately, it's too clustered. I can't see it. I see the line going to the back. I see the split. But when it gets to the distribution block, the drawing is just too convoluted. You can't see it. All right, let's see if we get a better version, more blown up. All right, you got the wheels for each cylinders. Mounting brackets, pedal, booster. That's the one thing about this assembly manual. It sort of jumps around. So now instead of doing brake lines, now we're doing the brake itself. Which one is this? That is the emergency brake. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not showing that line doing a damn thing. Come here and look at this. This is the diagram they have in here. We have these two lines going up. These are the purple ones. This is purple, this is purple. They go to the front. One goes left, one goes right. And then we have the rear, which is just one singular line. So why do we have another one there? Now, I'm sure there's somebody out there that can answer that for me, but I'm just letting you know, this is the 1979 assembly manual. That car is a 1979. It's a late 79. Don't know if they made any changes to it. Here, hold on. Okay, this is the rear, and it's showing two lines going to the back. So at what point do they join? Vapor pipe. That says vapor pipe. You see here? Do you see right here? That's the line that was going to the back, to the brake, and they're calling it a vapor line. Or am I looking at a third line? No. Right there, vapor line, 8D. What does that mean? Where's 8D? I obviously don't know. All right, so we need to go to the back to look and see how the other side is getting stuff. Clearance between the bottom outboard corner, splash shield. No, never mind, nothing. All right, I'm not losing my mind, guys. That is a vapor pipe. It just doesn't show where it goes. And this is the front, but it's not showing the vapor pipe and what it does. This one right here, that's for your sensor. There's a line, an electrical line that connects to that. I do know that. All right, let's go back underneath the car and see if there is a junction for the back brakes that I am missing. Now, did I just backtrack? Yes, I did. All right, vapor pipe, interesting. Okay, we are on the passenger side rear. That is the line coming over, the one they say is the vapor pipe, but it goes straight to the brake line, which comes here and goes to the caliper. Now this is driver's side rear, and it goes in here from the front. It comes into here in the trailing arm area, and then comes one line comes into here back to the brake caliper, whereas the other one goes there. There's no junction, is what I'm telling you. There's no split between the two. They are separate. So I'm confused. Alright guys, this is going to be impossible to show you, but behind here, I'm going to try and get you in there to see. There actually is there's a split for the two brakes.
All right, so the brake line comes into the back and then splits off into 2 lines. And it's directly on the back of this, right there, okay? If you look, and it is so hard to show you, I can barely see it on the camera, but I'll put an arrow to it. I'll hold here for a second. That line that I thought was a brake line turns upwards. It is the vapor line for the gas tank. It used to go to the canister, the charcoal canister. So we're good.
I went through all that worrying for nothing. But see, I didn't take that part apart. Some of the stuff was already disassembled when I got it. So it's like a jigsaw puzzle trying to figure out where everything goes back. So we figured it out. We looked at the manual. I thought it was missing something. It wasn't. I missed where that went. I had to run my fingers up through there and feel it. I can't see it. So we're good.
We do have a couple more leaks to address. We are under the driver's side front, and I need to figure out, this is 5/8. Ow, that hurt. And I went the wrong way. I had to get my bearings. All right, this one was still leaking. There's a little puddle underneath. Is this the one I wondered if it needed 2? Washers? I don't remember. What we're gonna do though, all right, she's on. I need a good clean rag. This will be close enough. We will dry everything off under here and see if we have any new ones. All right, now we need to work to the back. That one's gonna be a little harder. All right, we're on driver's side rear. And again, we're back on this one that is stripped. All right, and I haven't ordered a new one of these. I guess I need to, but for right now, we need to figure out how to get that booger tight. All right, I've clamped vice grips to it, but I clamped a small set. So let's get a bigger set and see if we can't crank her down. And that little brake thing doesn't seem to be holding it in very well. Look how loose it is. All right, vice grips to the rescue. And don't let me forget, the other thing we need to do is plug the alternator in. I didn't test that. Forgot to do that last time. But you see what I mean? There's not much room to move. So let's adjust these. And I'm sorry, I gotta hold y'all to do this because my camera, I don't have another camera stand that'll actually hold you in place. And while I'm doing this, where you can see the crap I'm going through and the crap that you will have to go through or already know. You're my Corvette guys, you should know this stuff. I mean, as in the pain of having to do it. I am gonna have to put you down though, 'cause I need 2 hands. All right, hold on. This one is just gonna be to hold the bottom, and I'm gonna move this one to tighten. All right, let me get in here. I might block your view for a minute. I gotta figure out where I'm at. Where do I gotta go? I probably need a shorter 5/8. No, I got it. Am I on it? Doesn't feel like it. I think now I am. There's no room to move. Well, for starters, I wasn't on it. Let's get this one on there. I think all I did was just turn the damn come on. You know, you'd think at some point we'd get a break. Cut us some slack, man. Come on. Nope, not gonna do it. No slack to be cut.
All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up this mess wipe everything down and start to bleed everything. That way we'll know if we have any new leaks. All right, just on a side note, we haven't updated the board in a long time. I don't think I've even looked at the board in a long time. So let's look. 79 Corvette. Ooh, front 2 calipers. Yes. And that's it. We still need to find the electric choke power line. 283 Hone motor. We did that. Strip, clean, paint, rebuild. No. All right. My motor. Timing seal cover? No. Rear main seal? No. Front seal? No. Head bolts, ARP? No. Oil pump, pickup, tube and scream? No. Intake? Yes. You'll get to see that soon. And dipstick, Jimmy? Nope. Ready? Where'd he go? Oh, now you want to get it, huh? I don't really want to mess up my paper towels. All right, here you go. Here you go. You don't want to play anymore? For once, I have energy. That's hardly ever. Oh, you got scratches? Your allergies acting up? Poor baby's got allergies. Oh, let me help you scratch. Oh. Let me know when you get your spot. Let me know when you get your spot. Did you get your spot? Uh-oh, I must have got the spot. That leg's going. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Alright, let me put these up. What was I doing? Oh yeah, brakes. Let's get back to work. Alright guys, I don't remember what kind of view you got last time when I did this. Try and get it better. Air hose. Got a filter outside. I've got 2 air lines run from my other garage, and I've got a double filter in between the 2 of them, trying to reduce the amount of air this thing's, or yeah, water this thing pushes out. All right, this is the farthest away caliper. This is passenger side rear, and we'll start on the outside here. And before we do any of that, I need to go top off the reservoirs to make sure they're full. Here's a stupid question for you. Are brake fluid and power steering fluid the same thing? Yes, they have a different name, but are they the same thing? Because that's what I've been putting in. When I went to the store the other day, I went and looked at the brake fluid shelf and just grabbed a big jug because they all look alike, and it says power steering fluid. And then I went and looked at mine that I already knew I had power steering, and well, it says power steering. So I know for a fact I've been using this. Well, there, I've been using this. Now, does it say what's in it? Learn from my mistake. Learn to read before you put shit in your car. All right, I just looked them up. They are entirely different and are not to be interchanged. So we're gonna need to flush these lines and go get some power steering fluid. Really? Power steering fluid? No, brake fluid. We're gonna go get brake fluid. Hey, At least we get to drive the Corvette.
One pump. Yeah, baby. Adjusted the spring on the carburetor, the return spring, and so now we don't have that high idle anymore. Somebody's moving. Here, we'll go another direction to keep out of their way. Careful not to get too close to him. He hits those branches, might knock a branch down on us. I think he's clear from here. Maybe not. What was that? Still picks up. Can't say I don't mind. Looks cool.
we are going to do now is to drain all the brake fluid, or power steering fluid. But I want to start from the closest because I don't want to have to pull all this power steering fluid through all the lines, just in case we didn't do such a great job of bleeding them, which we know we didn't. So far, so good. I don't see any new spots. No, that's old, okay? That is old, trust me, old. Now, I do see one drop there. That is new. I think that came from the steering rack, though, because I noticed it was leaking. So we'll have to double check that. And while I'm thinking of it, let me go get my brake clips, those ones we were missing. Remember, these are the clips I was talking about. I think I got no, I ordered them online. So let me break these open and put them in. Part is, these braided lines came with these new ones, because if you look at the back ones are new. Okay, these are tight. You gotta pound these on here compared to that other one that's loose. We'll replace it. Look at that. Brilliant. I'm just gonna replace all 4 of them. Might as well do it now with the correct stuff. Then have to worry about it later, right? Well, except that one actually is in there tight. It's apparently correct. And then this one didn't have one. Well, it's in there. Just didn't get it straight. Oh yeah. Bootimus. Done. One more thing fixed. Now, I want you guys to be a witness to this. See this shelf? This drawer is where they were supposed to be. That's where they're gonna be. So, if in the future I can't find them, you guys will know where they're at. And I expect you to tell me. All right, if you remember, I told you the other day my air conditioner died. Well, it did, and it took 2 days before it got fixed. So it's fixed now, but now I got somebody coming to give me a quote for a new unit. Who knew shit didn't last 20 years like they used to? This one only lasted 8. So I want to see how much a new one's going to cost. Doesn't mean I'm getting one, but they're going to be here any second. But I want to do one break first. Try and drain it before we do. Now it's a little dark, I'm sorry. I didn't have time to set up the light because he called and said he was on his way. So let's just open the valve. Say it over and over and over again until I do it. Open the valve. There we go. Not pulling anything, is it?
One eternity later.
Alright. You get the idea. Alright, 'tis the next day. Ended up buying a new air conditioning system for the house. Good news is, the old one gets to go in my garage. Since, they've already fixed it. So I will have a 4-ton unit next summer. Not gonna do it this year. Let's get back to the brakes. We gotta bleed them now. All right, I just happened to look down and we still have something leaking. That's from the power steering rack. That is gonna be from our distribution block. And there's something over there. I think that's from the dipstick. Let's look back here. Back here there is nothing fresh, which is refreshing. Finger comes back dry. Very good. Look over here. Nothing fresh. That little spot there, that's old.
And we look over here, and there's nothing on top of any of this. So basically we just have the distribution block that is still leaking. Let's go under and take a look. All right, I could have sworn it was going to be this one still leaking, but it's not. It's the front one. She's still leaking. I did not bring the small wrench because I thought it was this one. And I believe it's going to be an 11. Let's have a 3/8 here. Let's see, does 3/8 work? No. Does 7/16 works? It's a little loose. Let's see if the 11 works any better, just out of curiosity. Seems to be just as loose. So, American made, American measurements. Okay. Now I have forced it. So this like watching water boil, it's not going to happen while we're here. So let's continue on elsewhere. All right, power steering is still leaking from the valve. And I rebuilt this one, if you remember. So, oh, you know what? I rebuilt the ram on this. I did not rebuild the valve on this. I rebuilt the valve on the other Corvette. So it looks like I'm gonna be doing another rebuild. All right, y'all get to see it firsthand once again. Sorry, that thing was in the way, wasn't it? Here, it's leaking from here. See? All right, so back to what we were doing yesterday. And we are going to try and empty this best we can. Oh, I got this backwards. Why didn't you tell me that? I'm just going to clip her right there. I'll do with the hose. Oh. Don't worry, just me falling, busting my butt. Okay, that's in. Now let's check. It's coming. Not very fast though, is it? Looks like we're sucking air somewhere. I just noticed something. Hang on. I'll show you. I was just looking down here in the reservoir. I don't know which side it drains from, whether it's this, but it's got something here too, and it looked like it was clogged. You see, it's almost empty. So let's try it again and see if maybe that was a problem. If not, whatever. All right. So that little hole is what was draining to come down here. And it looked like it was clogged up a little bit. That was all that was left in the reservoir. There wasn't that much. So we're gonna work our way around. This has taken 8 minutes. So unless you wanna watch 24 minutes of me sucking power steering fluid out of my brake system, I'll be back. All right, we got the reservoir drained. I filled it up with brake fluid this time. But I seem to be having an issue on the passenger side of the vehicle. I think my vacuum pump may have taken a dump because it wasn't sucking anything out, but yet I was just able to gravity bleed this front one.
And the back one I'm gravity bleeding now, but I've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Here, let me show you. It's been gravity bleeding for about 5 minutes.
Okay, there's a little bit there, not much. We'll give it some time and see what it's gonna do. I did put an air hose to it through here to blow it out to see if anything was clogged. That's just dust. And, well, it blew the little bit that was in the reservoir all over the engine bay, so it isn't clogged. So we just have to figure out what is going on here.
All right, you're wondering, why aren't we looking at the brakes that you bled? Well, because yesterday we ran into some problems. After we drained the front brake, or the front driver's side brake, I went to the back to drain it and wouldn't drain. I tried to suck out all the fluid from draining the reservoir. Went to the passenger side, nothing, front and back. And I'm looking over there now and I see another leak, and it looks like it's coming from the distribution block. And then I thought maybe it was my equipment, okay? I was using this one, it's pneumatic, had the hose that hooks up to it, suck it out, use the air hose here, open it up. Yeah, you saw me do that. All right, I thought maybe it was that. So I pulled out this one. It's a manual one. You can hear it, it's sucking. Nothing. All right, so I waited till my wife got home and I got her in the car and had her do it the old fashioned way, pumping the brakes and then me open the bleeders. Nothing. On 2 of them, it spewed out what was in there, and then after that, absolutely nothing. And both the reservoirs are full. So, I thought about it last night. We're gonna go back to the beginning. We're gonna start with the master cylinder. We're gonna disconnect the brake lines and hook up this little kit I bought and see if maybe the master cylinder is taking a dump. We're gonna figure it out. All right, it's just gonna take a minute. That master cylinder is a reman, but it's new to me. It's been on that car since I got it. Now granted, it may have been 2 years, a year, 2 years, probably 2 years. So who knows what kind of crap could have gotten in it, clogged it up, or maybe it just took a dump and doesn't want to work. We're gonna find out. Let's get to it. Oh, what I didn't tell you was on the back brake, on that side, passenger side, I even took the air hose and blew back this direction, and it came out all over stuff. So I don't know. We're back to here again. And I'm gonna drain all this stuff out again once we see if it works, because it looks dirty. Who knows? All right, first thing, crack this open. Let's see what size we need. Interesting. Okay, very simple. And of course, they're square instead of, you know what I mean? Probably none of these. Nope. Those are my biggest ones. Save these for underneath because, yeah, that's where the leak is. Actually, no. I'm sorry, that leak is from the power steering valve. And it's like, yay, it's not the brakes, but it's something else we're gonna have to handle. Too big. Too big. If I would just read these, I'd probably know which one it is. 9/16. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is the other one 9/16? It is. Thank you.
A few moments later.
Side down from that. Some kind of thread. Yep. Oh, there we go. Alright, we got that in. Now, let me get a fresh rag, and I'm gonna bring y'all in closer. So, I've taken this line out. I'm screwed in this little adapter thing. Now you're supposed to use the hose and clamp. I'm assuming the clamp goes on here. Yeah. So this one's dripping, so we know it's at least not clogged. And I think you're supposed to do like, it's almost too long. Like I want to cut it. Alright. The scissors I stole from my wife and she never noticed they were gone. I mean, she never watches my videos, so she'll never know. Down into there. So let's cut here. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what I'm doing. Okay? I send all that extra stuff in here, they send you an extra clip just in case you screw it up. And this time I don't think I'm gonna cut it. Trying to clip on first to figure out where it needs to be. Thank you. That needs to be there. Let's see. Do that there. Yeah, that works pretty good. Making sure it's under the surface. All right. Time to zoom in. I might have screwed that one up. And gently push it just to see. All right, that front one works. Why is it discolored when it does that? All right, so we know it's not the master cylinder. I'm just gonna keep pumping for a little bit. Some of these lines are original to this car, so we don't know what condition they're in since sat so long. They could be clogged up. Ooh, that was almost bad. Now I'm just barely touching it, just trying to see. What is that? There's a couple bubbles. Here's an old turkey baster I had. Stole from my wife years ago. See if it works. All right, that's as good as she's gonna get. We got all that out and put that there. Now, I'm guilty of not being the cleanest person when I work around in here, so I may have left this open a few times. I may have done some metal work. It may have gotten debris in there. I take the blame for it. That's why it's dirty. So, we regroup. Let's see. This was clean, but granted, I went on the outside too. Let's see what it does when I do it like this. All right, vacuum cleaner. All right, I got those two pieces that I saw. Now we move to the lines. So, what have we determined here? That the master cylinder works. Now what we're going to do is take off each individual line and test it to make sure it's not clogged. Not much to show you, except for
be reaching in here and unscrewing this line from the top of the distribution block, okay? That's all I'm doing. And of course it's gonna be full of fluid. It's just gonna leak. Yep, all over the floor. So now we won't tell whether any new leaks yet. Okay. Now we have to hook up the air hose. But before we do that, I want to take off this other line. I guess one's a return, one's front, one's back. So they're both feed lines. Next size down I have here is a 7/16. Alright, which way is it gonna go? This way. Yep. Alright. So apparently it's a 7/16. Now, I'm underneath this. So of course it's gonna leak down onto me. Alright, I do not want to pull it out yet. Move out of the way. Come to this side and pop her out. Nothing. And that's the stuff that was going to the rear. That was a screwdriver. That almost got me. You can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Here we go. Ow! Screwdriver in the armpit. This is what I was talking about. It's got a blue end for up top, and then a brass end on the bottom, whereas this one has green and green. And I bought this kit from a company, so I guess color coding went out the window with the second line. But it works, so I guess who gives a shit. Alright, we're in the old garage where the air compressor is. Alright, here is one of the lines, and I'm not going to blow it so it blows back on me or you, but I want you to at least be able to see it. You saw that? She's not clogged. That was the front line. This is the back line. All right, it's blowing, it's clear, but there was obviously no brake fluid in it. So, two more culprits taken out of the equation. All right, we're back underneath. I'm gonna take off the front ones, starting with this one that was leaking before. And I think when we put this one back on this time, we're gonna put a little thread sealer on it. And this connects all the way over to the front. I don't think I'm gonna take it off. What I'm gonna do is disconnect it from here, disconnect it from the other side, and then blow it out. Just because that's a lot of extra work, having to rerun all this crap, because it's got so many little tie downs. Oh yeah, right in the face. There we go. You see that? Now, where's that leaking? Oh, there's the line. Get it out. Got it. It might not have been seated correctly, but I mean, once you screw it in, I thought it only goes in one way. All right, next would be the top one. I can't tell. There may be some in there. Not much. Yep. You always want to pull from the wire. Not. There we go. Okay, so all we have left is the rear. Let's see if I brought that wrench with me. All right, back underneath. Let's see, 9/16. There we go. And it needs to go that way. Yes. Come on. This is taking for. Why am I looking at myself? There we go. This is the rear line and not my face. Ain't been a damn thing. Can't say shit wasn't getting in there. There's stuff in there. All right, back in the old shop. Hook her back up. He said hooker. All right. So I kind of want to do it the way they do it. So this is the top down, so this is the front. See what happens. Okay, you see it coming out of here? All right, but if I'm doing that, it should be coming out of here too, so let's find out. Try something here. Can y'all see that? So the bottom is working. Yep. Plug that one. So it's the top one. All right, then we go with the rear. Folks, we have a problem. I just felt a little piece of debris come out and hit me in the face. It blew what was in there out, but it is clogged now. I believe we have a partial culprit. That doesn't explain the front at all. You know, my eyes are closed. Yes, I'm testing on my face. All right, did you see that? That's felt a shit ton of moisture coming out of my compressor, and then it started blowing through. I can feel a little bit, but not much. It's like it blows and then it doesn't. It blows and then it doesn't. If we can put something in there. I've got those little wire brushes. One just barged her way into the garage. Come on, sweetie. You want to help me? Well, you need opposable thumbs to help me. I don't know if you can do that. I have two sets. One for the camera, one for the paint gun, and then one for everything else. Let's just start with, well, that one's already mangled. Let's try it. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. All right, we'll try this one. Okay, it gets to one area and stops. Let's see. and there is a piece of debris on there. Can't really see it. I mean, nothing that would clog it up, but part of something, and that goes in that deep. So we're only getting to here. There's a little ridge in there. I think that's where the other one got caught on, but then that one only goes partly. I'm looking to see if I can see it, and I cannot see it through the other hole, but it too has some debris. Let us try a brush now. I'm looking down the top hole here to see if I can see the thing, and it comes like right just short of it, so don't know if it's meant to go all the way through, but that could be where our problem is. Alright, we're going to do one other thing. I'm going to take this off. I took the center brake switch out, but it didn't help me because there's no passage underway there. I thought maybe it would help open things up, but it didn't. So maybe we'll go finish blowing this out again. Alright, I found something interesting. See if we can focus in on this. This is a diagram of whatever you want to call it, distribution block, proportioning valve, whatever. This one seems to fit the same as mine. This guy has a 68 Corvette small block, and it seems to look the exact same as mine. I hope this is more focused than what I see on the screen. Anywho, he seems to be having the same problems. Oh, I guess there's seals inside, but how would you get to them? There's a new seal and spring kit available. Let's see, I don't know if this is the same as mine, because yes, this is obviously slightly different, but here you see it broken down into pieces. And not sure how in the hell you would break it down any more than that. At least on mine. That guy's stuff indeed was different than mine. Okay, his was much more simple. But what I want to do is take a look inside. I see no visible means for me to break this down any farther. In his, inside each of these bleeders, I guess, for lack of a better word. No, bleeder wouldn't be it. Whatever. It was threaded, so you could thread something in there to pull them out. These are not. So if they do come out, I'm assuming they're pressed in, which we're not going there. Okay, see, there's no threads. I'm sure that has something to do with something, but I don't know what it is. Not gonna mess with it. I don't know. I pumped a buttload of brake fluid in here, so if there was a problem with... I'm sorry, I'm looking at this and it does look like I see something. Maybe there is a piston in there, but I wouldn't know how to get to it. And a new one of these is about $100 on average, which, if you remember correctly, I just installed a brand new air conditioning system in my house. So, yeah, my budget just went to shit. I'm gonna have to think about this. Did some research last night on the distribution block, the power, or the proportioning valve, whatever you want to call it. There's like 3 or 4 different names. Basically, there's a piston in here, and it helps to, when you stomp on the brakes, to equalize pressure between the front and the back. That was my understanding of it. Now, what I didn't notice yesterday was I think this part can screw off, and that's where the piston would be. Now we have 2 options here. We can go with the theory that there's nothing wrong with this and put it back and try to find something else.
or we can try and take it apart and see if there's something wrong with it inside. And then if that doesn't work and we can't put it back together, or if it is broken, there are rebuild kits, or I found one as cheap as $47, free shipping. Everybody else is selling for $100. So why is this guy selling for 47? Well, I don't know. It's a company out of Detroit and it's American made. So I'm willing to try it. But first, let's take that off. Not much pressure to take it off. Oh, remember, it could be spring loaded, so let's be careful. I could be over exaggerating this, but you never know. I'd hate to have springs shoot across this room. Alright. What we have here is an O-ring with a bunch of debris, which could possibly be a problem. Alright, so we were obviously going through this, and there is the valve down there. Alright, we're going to do this. I want to show you guys a better picture of this. Hang on. And then what I'll do is I will zoom in and show you that. You got it? Alright. Well, see, I don't see any other way for it to come out. Oh, compressed air. What about compressed air? We're gonna try blowing it out with compressed air. It definitely needs to be drained again. It's full of air. All right, we're gonna try blowing in the back part here. Didn't work. That hurt. It didn't move. So what do we do? Alright. It won't come out. I can't take it apart any further. I don't know how to get it out of there. I'm stumped. Alright, just to save us some headaches and frustrations, I think I'm going to go ahead and order that new one. Don't know when it'll be here. But since this is part 2 of alternator and brakes, let's see if the alternator worked. You know, we connected it up and never ran the car to see if it actually worked. So why don't we do that? Give me a minute to open up the door and we'll try it.
turn you guys on. If you see right there, it's coming down the back of the block from above the oil filter. Almost looks like it's coming out of, why can't I spit that word out? Valve cover. I mean, pouring out, but the damn engine's too hot. It's not loose. I don't know.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of Whatever Garage. We fixed the alternator by buying a brand new one, putting it in, and yes, it now charges. We still have an electrical issue because even with the key off and everything else off, the lights stay on. The front park lights, I'm sure if the headlights were hooked up, they'd probably be on, and one of the dash lights stays on. So I don't know what's causing that. We'll have to get into the electrical eventually. I'm trying to avoid it. I hate electrical. But anywho, for this episode, brakes. We didn't fix them, so there's gonna have to be another brake episode. So we'll see what happens there. I'm gonna go ahead and order that valve, and hopefully that's a problem, because the front calipers are brand new. The back calipers are technically new. They've been on the car for 4 years and never been moved. I know, seals could be bad. We can investigate that later. But right now, in my opinion, everything should work. But you know how my opinion is. It's a little biased. So anyway, if you made it this far, thank you. I tried to be a little more in depth with what I was doing to show you guys how to do it if you haven't done it on your Corvette, or if you have done it and you see how I'm doing it, you can tell me to do it correctly. I'm open to suggestions, as you well know. Thank y'all for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and remember, Whatever Garage, out.